So you need a scanner that can do it all without breaking the bank. This XTOOL 616 promises full system diagnosis, over 30 special functions, and free lifetime updates, all for under $300. Well, at least at the time of making this video. But is it what you are looking for? Let's find out. This tool comes in a very nice hard case with metal clasps, making it feel more professional and something you would see in a nice garage. Opening the case, we get a wall charger and cable, which is nice to see as not all scanners come with an actual charger anymore. You also get the OBD2 cable, packing list, manual, and of course the scanner itself. Now looking at the tablet itself, it feels very solid, it feels a little bit heavy, so that makes me feel like, it's really made well, or at least I hope so. And of course on the sides here we have very nice rubberized handles, so it's easy to hold. You can hold it with two hands, you can hold it with one hand, whatever you like, it should work well for you. Here in the top we have the USB port, so you can use this for charging, or you can also use it to connect other devices like key programmers. You also have your OBD2 port at the top, power adapter of course, and the power button here at the top as well. On the back we have the model and the device number, so this is the IP616, and the model of the tablet is P710, and the input voltage is 12 volts at 3 amps. Pretty cool, but yeah, now let's take it down to the car and I'll show you what it can actually do. Alright, so we are in my BMW i3 and we can take a closer look at all of the functionality that this tool can provide. But before we do that, I wanted to mention that you do have to provide an email address and activate the device after connecting it to the internet before you can start using it and before you can run the updates, which you will have to do in order to download all of the functionality. As you can see, I still have 3 pending right here because I just wanted to show you how it works. It's very easy, it's one click and it updates it for you. So I'm just gonna hit update all. I'm running on my cell phone's Wi-Fi right now, so it's not gonna be very fast, but as you can see, it's doing its job. It has downloaded the software and then it installed it in just a few seconds. Pretty cool. And there you go, all the software is now up to date. Now going back to the main menu, we can see here at the bottom that there are a few icons, and let me tell you what those do. This one on the left takes a screenshot. This is volume down and volume up, so if you don't like the beeps and the clicks and everything else, you can turn that off. This is the standard Android back button, so you can go back to a previous screen. You also have a Android menu button, so it shows you all the apps that are running at this time, and you have your Bluetooth button here, so you can add a mouse and keyboard and things like that if you prefer, to make it a little bit easier to use. And here we have screen recording. So this home button, what does it do? Well, that takes you back to your Android tablet display basically, and here you can access internet and do standard Android things, but you also have settings, and this is where you would go to connect to your Wi-Fi and also Bluetooth and everything else. You can adjust the brightness on the screen and check out your storage, battery information, everything else, date and time, and you can change different time zones and everything else like that. This button right here will take you back to the actual XTOOL software, which is where we're going to be from now on. Here we have another settings menu, and this will allow you to change the language, so if you need to do that. You can also change between metric, imperial, and US units, and of course add workshop information that will display in the reports. On the rest of the main screen we have reports, so this will show all the reports that we run after we scan the vehicle. I'll show you that in just a little bit. We have remote control, so this will allow technicians to connect and help you troubleshoot the car. Very, very cool. On the left here we have special functions, which we will talk about in just a minute, but let's concentrate on this middle red section. So here we have auto scan, which will automatically scan your VIN number and then figure out what make and model of car you are in, and then scan all of the modules that are available in the systems that are in this vehicle. That's probably the best way to do it, but let me just go to diagnosis here, because this way I can show you all the vehicles that this actually supports. So here are all the European vehicles. That's a lot of them. Here are all the American vehicles, Asian, quite a few here, and Chinese. Oh, and there's actually Australian. So of course you can just pick it manually. You can go to Europe and hit BMW and then select the vehicle that you're in, but let's try out of it and see how well that works. But this just shows you how many makes and models this scanner actually supports, and of course Not all functionality will work on every single vehicle. That depends on the vehicle itself, but you get the idea. And here is all the information. So I got the VIN number, it got all of the information about it. We're gonna hit OK and see what it can do then. So then it scans it very quickly, by the way. It gives us two options. We have automatic diagnosis or system diagnostics. And if you go to system diagnostics, we have three different systems we can go to and pick which module or system we want to work on. Or we can go back to automatic and it will scan all of them. So basically all of the ones that are available on this vehicle. And notice how quickly that was. That was so quick. If you've seen other reviews of maybe slightly older tools, like from 2020, this would take 2-3 minutes, or some of the better ones, a minute and a half. This was seconds, and it scanned 25 modules, so it was not like just a couple of them. It was a lot. But yeah, that's very, very cool, and it's very fast. And here, of course, you can do a DTC report. So this will show you all the codes for all the modules and everything like that. So you have a boom right there, very quick. Of course, we can go back. We can clear all of them right away. So we can just hit clear, and it'll clear it on all of the modules. Or we can go into one individually. So as an example, we can go into Combi, click diagnosis, and it will bring us to this screen right here. This is where we can read information about the specific module. We can check out the codes. So here are the codes that are currently present on this vehicle. We can clear those codes. Boom, the codes are cleared. Now if you go back, there's one remaining, so there is some signal issue on this specific car. We can also read data streams. So if you go in here, we can pick all of the PIDs that are available for this module, or we can do it manually. So if you want, we can go mileage display, and we have live information being shown to us just like that. Very quick, by the way. If you notice how quickly this shows, I mean, that's very impressive. And what we can also do is select all of them and do custom, and we can do graph. And now, all of a sudden, we have 8 graphs, well, 7 in this case, but it can do up to 8, that are showing live information. Here, we can also combine them, so we can put all of them on one graph. So you have all of them displayed in just one. We can export this data into an Excel file right there. It is saving it, so we can just, boom, export it. And of course, we can record it, so this will record all of the stuff that's happening on the screen and then save it to the reports folder that we saw earlier. And here's the same information with data that's actually changing quickly. So I'm gonna hit the accelerator pedal quickly now. It's actually real-time data graphing, which is very, very impressive. And yeah, you don't see this on a lot of scanners. I'm very impressed that I can do actually 8 different graphs and combine them at the same time. And of course, you can just click on one of these and see individual graphs like that, or you can even switch the types of graph that you see. And of course, there's a lot of other very cool information on other modules, such as the range extender motor. So if you go in here, we can see very cool stuff like motor angular position. You can see temperature of the inverter phases. We can see the high voltage system current that's going through the motor, motor temperature. To summarize this section, it basically supports all systems, and it will scan every single module that is available on that car. Now, if we go back to the main menu, we can go to special functions and see what those are, because this is actually very cool. It can do a lot. And as you can see, there's like 30 of them. So obviously, I'm not going to look into every single one, but I will mention a few ones that I think are cool. So for example, you can adjust the mileage in your instrument cluster. And the nice thing is that you can go into each one and it will show you which vehicles are actually supported. So as an example, these are the vehicles that are supported where you can actually change the mileage on, right? So BMW is not supported, so obviously it's not something I can show you. But what we also have is key programming. Now, key programming is a very tricky business. And on a lot of cars, you can just program and copy and clone keys, no problem. On most higher end cars like BMWs and Mercedes, you will most likely need additional hardware to do so, but the functionality is built into this device, which is very nice. You also have power balance that works only on few vehicles. Yeah, so like Ford, GM, and Lincoln, and in Europe, Ford, and Australia, Ford. But yeah, it's cool that it tells you what it actually works on. We also have seat matching, TPMS reset. We have language changes, transport mode, ECU configuration. So this will actually allow you to program ECU or, well, make customizations to the ECU. So if you have auto start stop functionality, you can turn that off, for example. You also have BMS reset, so you can register and program batteries. You have your throttle adaptation reset and throttle relearn. So after clearing or repairing the electronic throttle, you can relearn it and adapt it to the new position. You also have air fuel ratio reset, high voltage battery, so that's a pretty cool one. You can look into different temperature and voltage and everything else on the high voltage in an electric vehicle. Gearbox matching, DPF, ABS bleeding, so if you need to bleed the brake fluid, you can do so. Gear learning, start stop reset, SAS, EGR relearn, oil reset. So this is not just oil reset too. If you go to, for example, BMW, I'll show you what it actually can do. It can do a lot more. It can reset all of the different reminders basically that are available for that car. So for this car, it would be engine oil, front brakes, rear brakes, brake fluid, vehicle inspection, and this service as well. So you can go to each one and reset it to whatever date that it needs to be. We also have electronic parking brakes. So if you're changing brakes, that's super helpful. AC relearn, headlights, window initialization. Injector coding for whenever you change injector is super important so your car runs well. Electronic pump activation, suspension, airbag reset, and tire upgrade. So as you can see, there is a ton of them, and it's actually very helpful when you're working on cars and need to do some of these items. This scanner also supports CAN FD protocol, so that means it will work for GM vehicles manufactured after 2020. That's important for some people, I know. It will not work on 24-volt heavy-duty trucks, but other than that, it basically supports all makes and models. Of course, it also supports all 10 modes of OBD2 functionality, so you do have standard OBD2 functions just right there, in case I didn't mention that earlier. But yeah, to summarize this device, well, it has a very nice 7-inch screen, has higher end hardware, so it has very fast response time and scanning, free updates for life, awesome recording, excellent real-time data graphing, which I like, 8 PIDs for graphing, which is impressive. You don't see that in a lot of scanners. Of course, it can do all system diagnostics and has 31 special functions that should work on most vehicles. What are some of the negatives? Well, it doesn't have ECU coding or actuation testing, aka bidirectional functionality, but I believe you have to buy a more expensive version to get those functions. Last thing I wanted to show you is the reports tab right here. So if you go to diagnostics, we can see some of the stuff that we have generated. So here is the diagnostics report. It shows all the information, all the current codes, all that information that you might be interested in, trouble codes. Look at that. Very nice. And then you can, of course, share that by email or print as a PDF report. We also have the data playback. So whatever data we recorded as we were doing stuff, that's available here as well. So very easy to show something to a person after you have done some troubleshooting. You can show them after the fact. But that's about all I have to say about this XTOOL IP616. If you have any questions, let me know down below. And if you'd like to check out more videos on my channel, click this video right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.